As the second week of May arrives, there is a distinct and undeniable shift in the air, one that reaches into the depths of your inner landscape and begins to stir things that have long been lying dormant. This isn't just a passing emotional phase or a fleeting mood. It's something far more powerful, far more personal. It's an awakening, a sacred unraveling of layers that you've built over time to protect yourself, to cope, to survive. But now those layers are beginning to dissolve, and what's been hidden underneath is gently but firmly making its way to the surface. This week is like a mirror being held up to your soul, and whether you're ready or not, you're being invited to take a long, honest look at what's reflected back. You may feel emotional without knowing why. Tears might rise at the most unexpected moments. You might be filled with longing or sudden waves of melancholy, or you may be struck by an insight that leaves you still and breathless. These aren't random occurrences. They are soul-level messages, whispers from the deepest parts of your being, asking to be heard, felt, and honored. It's easy to dismiss these feelings as inconvenient or irrational, especially when life is demanding your attention in so many other ways. But if you lean in rather than pull away, if you let yourself sit with what's coming up, even when it's uncomfortable, you may discover something profound waiting for you. This week is a threshold. It's a moment of crossing from one version of yourself into another. A softer, more truthful version that no longer needs to hide behind old patterns or outdated stories. There's a kind of sacred timing to all of this. On May 8th, the moon travels through the earthy, introspective sign of Virgo, aligning with the Hasta Nakshatra, an energy that connects the power of the hands with the clarity of the mind and the intuition of the soul. Hasta carries the gift of manifestation, but not through force or control. Its power lies in the ability to align inner intention with outer action, to take what's felt internally and begin shaping it into something real. This isn't a time to plan everything perfectly. It's a time to trust what arises naturally, even if it feels vague or fragile. Yet the emotional terrain is complex. The moon's proximity to Ketu, the south node of the moon, can trigger feelings of disconnection from worldly concerns. You might feel spacey, unsure, or strangely detached, as though you're floating somewhere between the past and the future. This energy is guiding you inward, nudging you to pull away from the noise of the external world and find stillness within. You may not have all the answers right now, but what you do have is access to the quiet voice of your own truth. At the same time, there is a celestial tug-of-war happening in the background. The moon faces opposition from Rahu, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus, all stationed in Pisces. This lineup intensifies the inner struggle between illusion and clarity, between the desire to escape and the need to confront what's real. Relationships may feel more sensitive than usual. Conversations might not land the way you intend. You might find yourself longing for connection and yet pulling away at the same time. If things feel foggy, give yourself permission to pause before reacting. Not everything needs to be resolved immediately. Sometimes silence is the most healing answer. Adding to the introspective quality of the day, the Sun and Mercury occupy the 8th house relative to the Moon, emphasizing themes of transformation, hidden truths, and emotional rebirth. You might find yourself reflecting on deeper issues, old wounds, past decisions, or forgotten dreams. There's a natural pull toward solitude. Don't resist it. Solitude is not loneliness. It's a chance to reconnect with the parts of you that the world rarely sees, and in that sacred space, healing becomes possible. As this energy builds, you may find old emotions bubbling to the surface. Grief, regret, guilt, longing, or even joy that was never fully expressed. Rather than distracting yourself or moving too quickly, slow down. Allow these feelings to pass through you like waves. Let them teach you, soften you, awaken you. This isn't a breakdown, it's a breaking open. Socially, tensions may flare. With Mars in the 11th house, group dynamics can be a little volatile. Something said in jest might sting more than expected. Plans might fall apart, or unexpected drama could arise. If you feel misunderstood, take a step back before responding. Not everyone is attuned to their emotional world right now, and that can lead to miscommunications. Let compassion be your guide. But even amid all this emotional complexity, there's a profound wellspring of support available. Jupiter, the planet of wisdom and expansion, sits strong in the 10th house, offering a steadying influence. This is a beautiful time to channel your emotions into something constructive. Pour your heart into your work, your creativity, your healing journey. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, when you use your energy in service of something meaningful, you begin to create a sense of purpose that can carry you through even the most difficult emotional terrain. Let yourself be reminded that grounding doesn't always come from peace and quiet. Sometimes it's born from presence, being fully here with whatever is. Whether you're washing the dishes, working on a creative project, or simply breathing deeply in the middle of chaos, you're anchoring yourself into the present moment. And in that grounded presence, clarity begins to emerge. On May 9th, the moon remains in Virgo but shifts into Chitra Nakshatra, a lunar mansion filled with creativity, elegance, and the yearning to make something beautiful and lasting. Chitra awakens the architect within, the dreamer who wants to shape something meaningful out of the raw material of life. You may feel a sudden burst of inspiration, or a pull to return to a creative passion you've set aside. There might be a sense that something is forming just beneath the surface, an idea, a vision, a new direction. Even if the outer world appears the same, the energy of Chitra stirs your inner light. It calls forth the part of you that knows there's more to life than simply getting by. This is a good time to notice what excites you, what energizes you, what makes you feel alive. It doesn't have to be grand or groundbreaking. Sometimes it's the simplest actions. Writing in a journal, picking up a paintbrush, speaking your truth to someone you love, that light the path forward. This week, you're being invited into a process of inner refinement, not through perfectionism or self-criticism, but through honesty, awareness, and surrender. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you already are, beneath the masks, the roles, and the stories you've been told or have told yourself. You may not understand every feeling that arises. You may not be able to explain your dreams or articulate your longing. But if you allow yourself to sit with it all, with the confusion, the hope, the sadness, the inspiration, you will begin to hear the voice of your soul more clearly than ever before. That voice has been waiting for you. It's not loud or demanding, it's gentle, but it is persistent. It speaks in nudges, sensations, and quiet truths. This is your time to listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. The universe is not punishing you or testing you. It's preparing you for the next phase of your journey, for a deeper relationship with yourself, for a life that feels more aligned, more real, more yours. So take a breath. Trust the process. Let the emotions come. Let them teach you, and then let them go. You are not stuck. You are transforming. You are stepping into a new way of being, and even if it feels uncertain now, trust that this uncertainty is the fertile ground from which your next chapter will grow. As the moon continues its transit, it finds itself entangled in a complex web of celestial resistance, still standing in opposition to Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Rahu, all in the mystical waters of Pisces. This celestial tension lingers like an unspoken emotional undercurrent, subtly but firmly testing our sense of emotional balance. The energies might feel heavier than usual, as though the heart is speaking in riddles, and connections with others seem slightly offbeat or misaligned. It's not uncommon during this period to feel misunderstood, unsupported, or weighed down by a fog of uncertainty in your relationships, especially those closest to your soul. If you're navigating conversations with partners, be they personal, romantic, or professional, or considering new agreements, it's wise to take a pause. This day does not lend itself easily to clear decision-making. The threads of miscommunication or internal misalignment are too tightly wound. You may find that what you agree to today doesn't truly reflect your deeper truth or long-term intentions. Instead of rushing into contracts, commitments, or conclusions, step back and take a breath. The current energetic climate is one that calls you inward, not outward. It is a sacred space for self-inquiry, not action. This is not a time to push forward recklessly or to chase clarity in the external world. Rather, it is an invitation to retreat into the quiet, into the places where your truth is still forming, still revealing itself. The sun, exalted and powerful in Aries, yet sitting in the transformative 8th house, shines its bright light not on the surface, but deep within the shadows. It beckons you to explore what lies beneath the masks you wear, the fears you carry, the hopes you rarely speak aloud. You may find yourself pondering questions that pierce the very heart of your being. Who am I beneath the expectations of others? What still lingers unresolved in the silent corners of my emotional world? This kind of inner excavation is raw and often uncomfortable, but it's the kind of discomfort that births growth. It's a soul-deep reckoning that makes way for healing and evolution. Virgo continues to cast its influence like a quiet analyst, encouraging you to pay attention, not in a way that overwhelms you with overthinking, but in a way that helps you understand yourself more clearly. Virgo energy is meticulous and precise. It doesn't ask you to fix everything overnight, but it does encourage you to observe. Observe your reactions, observe your patterns. Observe where you're still holding on and where you're finally ready to let go. This isn't a time to seek perfection. It's a time to seek truth. Let Virgo's wisdom be your guide, not your critic. There's a sacredness in this week's unfolding, one that transcends the surface level of our daily routines. It is a portal, a quiet, potent invitation to return to yourself. No matter how turbulent the emotions, no matter how clouded your understanding may feel, you are not alone. The universe is here, not with loud signs or dramatic signals, but with a steady, quiet nudge. A reminder that even in your most confusing moments, you are being guided. There's a divine orchestration behind the scenes, one that sees your heart, your fears, your desires, and your transformation in perfect timing. And so when emotions surge or the past reappears uninvited, know that it's not regression, it's revelation. You're not backtracking. You're being shown what still lives inside you, not so you can judge it, but so you can finally understand it, honor it, and set it free. You're not who you were. You're in the process of becoming, layer by layer, piece by piece, soul by soul. Instead of trying to piece together answers from the outside world, use today to tune in to your own inner frequency. The world around you may be noisy or uncertain, but your inner compass still knows the way. Don't spend your energy trying to analyze others or decode what they mean. Ask yourself instead, why am I feeling this way? What am I being invited to learn about myself? This kind of self-inquiry is the essence of Virgo's medicine. It offers us the tools to gently correct our course, not because we're broken, but because we are ever-evolving works of sacred art. The moon continues to wax, growing brighter, expanding its influence, and nearing its full phase. This buildup brings emotional tides that rise more rapidly and deeply. You may find clarity beginning to emerge, not necessarily in the form of neat answers, but in sudden knowing, quiet realizations, or an internal shift that subtly but unmistakably changes your perception. Something within you is preparing to be released. The light of the full moon is not just a symbol of completion, it is the spotlight that reveals what can no longer be hidden. It brings illumination to truths that have long been buried, but are now ready to be honored. This kind of transformation doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly, like a whispered epiphany or the sudden lifting of an emotional weight you didn't know you were carrying. These are moments of soul awakening, gentle, profound, and life-altering. You are being invited to rewrite the very architecture of your inner world. The foundations upon which you've built your life may be ready to shift, to evolve, to reflect more of who you truly are. Not all brilliance is found in outward success or visible achievements. Sometimes, the most radiant light arises from the darkest, most hidden places within your own heart. That's where true transformation begins. As we approach May 10th, the celestial energy begins to subtly shift. The moon drifts into the sign of Libra, a sign that seeks peace, fairness, and equilibrium. And by late afternoon, around 5:30 p.m., it steps into the Swati Nakshatra, a lunar mansion ruled by Vayu, the god of wind. This is where the energy begins to feel lighter, freer, more mutable. There's a gentle breeze stirring the spirit, a sense of movement that can either feel liberating or unsettling, depending on your inner state. This breeze isn't random. It carries messages. It stirs what is stagnant and invites you to release what no longer serves you. Swati's airy nature is not grounded, but it's not chaotic either. It seeks harmony in movement. It encourages flexibility, adaptability, and a willingness to flow with life's changes. But to truly ride this wind without being scattered, you must remain rooted in your own inner stability. Ask yourself, am I grounded enough to move with change rather than resist it? Can I trust the flow, even when I can't see where it's taking me? Swati is also associated with communication, and today, your voice carries weight. Words spoken under this influence can be powerful. They can heal or hurt, inspire or deflate, so speak consciously. If there's something you've been holding back, an apology, a confession, a dream, this energy can support its expression. But tread carefully, because the power of speech is magnified now. Let your words carry truth, but also carry kindness. With the full moon now almost at its peak, there's a strong gravitational pull toward wrapping things up. This isn't just about to-do lists or finalizing tasks. It's about energetic closure. There may be matters that have lingered for too long, emotional loops you've been circling, or unresolved tensions you've been avoiding. Now is the time to bring them to light. The moon's brightness acts as a mirror, reflecting what you're finally ready to acknowledge and address. The planetary backdrop continues to shape this inner evolution. Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and Rahu all remain in Pisces, creating a compelling influence in the 6th house from the moon. This placement brings your attention to practical matters: your health, your habits, your routines. Though it's the weekend, the energy feels industrious. You may feel called to organize your space, cleanse your body, or complete unfinished business. It's a beautiful day to do the kind of soul-aligned work that brings your inner world into harmony with your outer one. These actions may seem small, but they create ripples of clarity and empowerment. It's also an ideal time to initiate new habits or make lifestyle changes. If you've been putting off changes to your diet, exercise, or mental well-being, the energy now is like a tailwind. It helps you start with purpose. These shifts don't need to be extreme. Even the smallest new practice done with love and intention can open doors to profound transformation. And as Jupiter stands at the 29th degree, a karmic threshold, it signals a powerful ending, a chapter that is gently closing. This degree is about completion and transition. Jupiter's wisdom tells us that something important is reaching its fulfillment, even if we can't yet name it. You might feel it as a sense of closure, a bittersweet readiness to move on, or a growing realization that the old ways no longer fit. Let yourself feel it. Trust that this ending is not an erasure, but a preparation. Something new is coming, and the full moon on May 12th will likely bring it into sharper focus. Mars, currently positioned in the 10th house from the moon, adds fuel to your ambition and clarity to your direction. It encourages action, but not the frantic kind. This is focused, intentional, clear-headed movement. Whether you use this energy to make progress on your career goals, clean your space, or purge outdated emotional patterns, it's a powerful moment to move forward with courage. Let Mars energize you, not to fight the current, but to align with it. Swati whispers one final message today. Move with the wind, but know where you stand. Change is in the air, but so is clarity. Let go of what's no longer needed. Trust the flow, but stay rooted in your own inner truth. Because sometimes, when the wind shifts direction, your entire destiny shifts with it. As we step into the gentle energy of May 11th, the cosmos opens a space not for haste, but for reverence. There's a sacred slowness in the air today, a quiet invitation to soften your pace and allow life to unfold without resistance. The moon, still resting in the balanced and diplomatic sign of Libra, draws power from the Swati Nakshatra, a star that symbolizes the wind, independence, and inner flexibility. This celestial alignment carries a message that whispers rather than shouts. Loosen your grip. Don't hold so tightly to plans or expectations. Let yourself bend instead of break. There's a divine intelligence in surrender, in choosing to be fluid rather than forceful. Swati Nakshatra, ruled by Vayu, the god of wind, doesn't demand strength in the way we often think of it. Instead, it speaks of resilience through adaptability. Imagine the delicate blade of grass swaying in the breeze. Its movement isn't weakness, it's wisdom. That's the energy coloring the day. It's not about rushing toward outcomes, asserting control, or orchestrating events. Instead, it's about becoming attuned to the subtle rhythms around you, noticing the quiet shifts in emotion, energy, and conversation. It's about learning to harmonize with what is, rather than pushing for what should be. Today, there is great power in letting go of the need to respond. Swati encourages communication, yes, but not the kind that's meant to dominate a room or steer a dialogue. It's a day to let words flow like water, or better yet, to pause and listen deeply. Can you be present without reacting? Can you hear what's unsaid in someone's voice, or feel what lies behind their words? There is so much being spoken right now, not through arguments or declarations, but in body language, in energy, in tone. Let this day be one of presence over performance, stillness over striving. As the full moon approaches, just one day away, you may already feel its pull. Its light is beginning to cast long shadows across your inner landscape, illuminating emotions and thoughts you've kept tucked away. Full moons are always about culmination and revelation, but this one feels particularly potent. You may find yourself revisiting old desires, emotions you thought were long resolved, or decisions you've put off for too long. Rather than brushing these aside or judging their reappearance, see them as sacred messengers. What's surfacing now is doing so for a reason. Your deeper self is asking for recognition. Pay attention. It's not just the moon's glow that's stirring the depths. The celestial story unfolding right now carries themes of spiritual refinement and inner clearing. Rahu, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus are all gathered in Pisces, weaving an atmosphere thick with intuition, imagination, and the call to transcend outdated patterns. This alignment isn't about superficial transformation. It's a soulful detox. It's the kind of energetic cleanse that can realign you with your higher path if you're willing to move through the discomfort. Look at your habits today. Which ones feel like anchors, pulling you into old versions of yourself? Where are you pouring energy out of obligation rather than inspiration? Today holds the key to soft but lasting change, especially in areas connected to your health, your spiritual practices, and your emotional clarity. If you've been feeling the nudge to commit to a new wellness routine, to deepen your spiritual connection, or to break free from behaviors that no longer serve your growth, this is the moment. You don't need a dramatic overhaul. Begin gently. Small, sacred choices carry immense power under skies like these. Even the act of saying no to one draining habit can ripple outward into every area of your life. The universe is opening a quiet doorway. You don't have to knock loudly. Just walk through with intention. At the same time, Mars is still lending its determined fire to your goals. This isn't the kind of energy that forces things. It's the kind that gives you the willpower to follow through once you know what matters. This is the strength to complete the project you started, to finally set the boundary, to move forward with courage, but not from ego. The harmony between the moon's reflective wisdom and Mars's proactive energy creates a divine balance, the ability to act from clarity rather than compulsion. Use it. Move when it feels right, and rest when your body or soul says pause. Today invites a kind of grace that only arrives when you stop fighting the current. Let yourself move like the wind, not in chaos, but in dance with life itself. Notice where your intuition is guiding you, even if the path seems uncertain. There's wisdom in the unknown. You don't need to force answers right now. Just be willing to stay with the questions. This moment is alive with possibility, not in what you do, but in how you align. Trust that slowing down today is not a loss of progress. It's a redirection toward the path that's truly meant for you. There's a quiet magic that happens when you honor the stillness. Maybe today, you choose to do something small just for you, something no one else sees or applauds. And yet, that simple act becomes a turning point. These quiet choices often mark the beginning of the most profound changes. They're not for show, they're for soul. Today doesn't ask for grand gestures. It asks for presence, for authenticity, for gratitude. As the moon nears fullness, it's not just illuminating the sky. It's casting light into the forgotten corners of your heart. Let it. Allow it to show you what you've been ignoring, avoiding, or denying. But don't fear what it brings up. These revelations are gifts, even if they come with discomfort. They are mirrors that reflect not just your wounds, but your capacity to heal. Sit with what you feel. Don't rush to fix or explain it. Just be there, fully, honestly. That presence alone can shift everything. This is not a passive moment. It's a sacred preparation. The sky is adjusting its rhythm. Your soul is recalibrating. You are not who you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Today offers a moment of realization. Quiet, maybe even unnoticeable to the outside world, but deeply significant. It's the kind of inner milestone that doesn't require validation. You don't need anyone else to see it, because you feel it. You know it's real. That's what matters. And then comes May 12th, a celestial threshold that marks not just a date on the calendar, but a spiritual crossing. In the early morning hours, the full moon rises in Libra, as the sun blazes across from it in Aries. It's a moment of sacred polarity. Light meeting light, self facing other, desire balancing duty. The full moon appears in Vishakha Nakshatra, a lunar mansion known for its relentless drive toward victory. But this victory isn't always about outward success. Vishakha asks you to look inward. What are you triumphing over in yourself? What outdated belief, behavior, or fear are you finally ready to shed? The symbol of Vishakha is a decorated archway or a triumphal gateway. It's a fitting metaphor. You're standing beneath a cosmic arch right now, about to walk through it into a new chapter. But first, you must decide what to leave behind. Not everything can come with you. This is a time to release what no longer resonates, what you've outgrown, or what has simply run its course. It may be a relationship dynamic, a role you've been playing, or an outdated dream. Let go with love, not regret. The Libra full moon turns your attention to balance, justice, and harmony. It asks hard questions not to punish you, but to free you. Are your relationships truly reciprocal? Are you giving and receiving in ways that honor your truth? Are you staying in situations out of habit, comfort, or fear of change? This moon may illuminate imbalances you've been tolerating. And with that illumination comes a choice: to continue as things are, or to realign. Simultaneously, the sun in Aries brings fire to your sense of self. It challenges you to step into authenticity. Aries is bold, unapologetic, direct. It asks, "Who am I when I'm not compromising?" Meanwhile, the moon in Libra answers, "And how can I still hold compassion and fairness while honoring my truth?" The tension between these two signs is not meant to divide you. It's meant to integrate. In their dance, you learn to speak your needs without diminishing others, to stand in your truth without stepping on someone else's, to choose yourself, not in defiance, but in devotion. This full moon is a gateway to deeper understanding, not just of others, but of yourself in relation to others. You may see a side of yourself reflected in someone else that surprises you. You may be called to forgive, or to finally speak your truth, or to simply accept what is without trying to change it. Each of these acts is a kind of spiritual victory, not loud, not celebrated, but life-altering nonetheless. So let May 11th be your preparation, your cleansing, your return to center. Let May 12th be your illumination, your threshold, you're crossing into greater clarity. The skies are not just moving above you, they are moving within you. You are not separate from these rhythms. You are woven into them, just as surely as the wind carries the breath of the earth. Let that wind move you. Let it guide you, not away from yourself, but deeper into who you truly are. And in that discovery, may you find peace, power, and purpose. Under the powerful influence of the Vishaka full moon, the cosmos beckons us into a deeper understanding of direction, desire, and personal evolution. This celestial moment doesn't just whisper for change, it demands it with grace and gravity. Vishaka Nakshatra, often referred to as the star of purpose, holds a strikingly determined energy. It's a lunar mansion symbolized by a decorated archway, a gateway between the old and the new, suggesting that we now stand at the threshold of transformation. For those who've walked a singular path for years, dutifully, loyally, and perhaps even out of habit, this full moon signals it's time to reevaluate. It urges you to pause and listen closely to your inner voice, especially if it has been quietly, persistently nudging you toward something different. Changing course isn't a sign of weakness or inconsistency. Rather, it's a mark of profound self-awareness. The courage to shift direction arises when we acknowledge that growth requires letting go of what no longer fits. And this moment, rich with astrological support, presents the perfect conditions to make that pivot. The full moon in Vishaka is more than a poetic metaphor for transformation. It's a tangible opportunity to align your outer life with your inner truth. Saturn and Rahu continue their journey through the 6th house, a placement that fuels our ability to overcome adversity with persistence and clarity. Saturn's discipline mixed with Rahu's insatiable drive can help you break through mental and physical barriers that have previously felt impossible. This is the kind of energy that rewards effort, structure, and deep personal accountability. You may find that things you once avoided or feared are now manageable, and even within reach, because Saturn, the taskmaster, and Rahu, the shadowy innovator, are pushing you to level up. Meanwhile, Jupiter's placement in the 8th house whispers of unseen blessings. The 8th house is a realm of mystery, transformation, and hidden power. With Jupiter here, the deeper layers of your psyche and spirit are being activated. You might experience profound realizations, quiet spiritual awakenings, or inner shifts that seem to come from nowhere. This isn't the kind of magic that flashes brightly across the sky. It's the subtle, life-changing kind that reshapes you from the inside out. It's the quiet sense of coming home to yourself after a long and wandering journey. Mars, now transiting the 10th house, amplifies this moment by adding tangible momentum to your aspirations. In the realm of career, reputation, and long-term goals, Mars infuses energy, ambition, and drive. This is not just about dreaming, it's about doing. If you've been hesitating to make a bold move, Mars provides the spark and stamina to take that leap. Actions taken under this alignment are likely to be fueled by purpose, not just passion, which means they have the potential to create lasting change. And yet, despite all this energetic propulsion, the heart of this full moon remains deeply emotional. You may feel an urgent need to complete something, to close a chapter that's been lingering unfinished. It could be a decision you've avoided, a truth you've ignored, or a cycle you've stayed in out of fear or comfort. This moment is your cosmic permission slip to let go, to release with gratitude what no longer serves, and to embrace what lies ahead with openness. Then, as we transition into May 13th, the emotional tone begins to shift in subtle but powerful ways. The moon slips into Scorpio, the most emotionally intense sign in the zodiac. Traditionally, the moon is considered to be debilitated in Scorpio, meaning it's not entirely comfortable here. But discomfort is not inherently negative. It often precedes transformation. And this placement, far from being a cosmic imbalance, reveals a hidden harmony due to a special planetary relationship. Mars, Scorpio's ruling planet, is currently in Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon. This mutual exchange, known in Vedic astrology as a parivartana yoga, creates a kind of divine reciprocity between these two celestial bodies. Even though each is technically in a weakened state, they're supporting each other, much like two close friends who've switched roles to better understand one another. This delicate balance invites emotional vulnerability with the promise of support, allowing you to feel deeply without being overwhelmed by it. At this time, the moon is also passing through Anuradha Nakshatra, a star of friendship, loyalty, and heartfelt connection. Anuradha softens the intensity of Scorpio by inviting us to open our hearts, to extend compassion, and to nurture the relationships that matter most. It's an invitation to heal, not by burying the pain or pretending it's not there, but by truly acknowledging it, offering forgiveness, and choosing connection over separation. This energy is ideal for mending old rifts, speaking from the heart, and repairing broken bridges. If emotional wounds have been lingering, now is the time to address them with sincerity. The energy is aligned for honest conversations and heartfelt reunions. Relationships that have endured challenges can find a new rhythm here. Anuradha doesn't seek surface-level harmony. It craves depth, trust, and emotional integrity. So this is not about sweeping things under the rug. It's about seeing each other clearly and choosing love anyway. Adding yet another layer of significance is Jupiter, now standing in the 7th house from the moon. It's approaching the final degrees of Taurus, a sign deeply rooted in stability, trust, and material security. Jupiter's presence here signals the closing of a 12-year cycle, an entire era of lessons, growth, and transformation in how you relate to your values, your resources, and your relationships. Taurus teaches us to ground into what's real, what's lasting, and what we truly want to build. And as Jupiter prepares to move on, it invites you to reflect. What has changed in the last decade? What dreams have endured? Which values have deepened, and which ones have faded? Have your relationships evolved alongside your growing self-awareness? This isn't just a time for emotional closure. It's a time for conscious integration. With Jupiter in these final degrees, you are being asked to distill your wisdom, to take inventory of what you've learned, and to use that clarity to inform your next chapter. This kind of reflection often brings up realizations about money, stability, partnerships, and the foundations you've built your life upon. You may feel called to redefine your priorities, to focus less on what looks good on the outside and more on what truly feels right inside. It's a beautiful moment to begin restructuring your life in a way that reflects who you've become, rather than who you once were. And within all this motion, this cosmic choreography of planets, signs, and nakshatras is a singular truth. You already hold the courage, the insight, and the strength you need. You are not waiting to become ready. You are already standing at the gateway. The universe is not pushing you toward something unfamiliar. It's guiding you home to yourself. This Vishaka full moon and the days that follow are about choosing alignment over attachment. They're about remembering that growth doesn't always look like expansion. It often looks like deepening, simplifying, and returning. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove anything. You simply need to honor what's true. And when you do, the next step will become clear, even if it's uncertain. You don't need all the answers to move forward, only the willingness to begin. As the moon glides through Scorpio and the emotional waters rise, don't resist them. Let them show you where your heart still aches and where your spirit longs to bloom. Let them teach you about love, about resilience, about the soft power of surrender. Trust that even in the depths, you are being held. And as Jupiter prepares to step into a new sign, know that you are too. What's unfolding now is not random. It's part of your story, your real, beautiful, messy, sacred story. So breathe it in, feel it fully, and then, with clarity and compassion, choose your next step. You are not alone in this transformation. The sky is with you, the stars are speaking, and the path, though unfamiliar, is waiting for your first step forward. Let the gentle power of Anuradha guide you today, not with force, but with the quiet, unwavering strength that comes from love, loyalty, and devotion. Anuradha is a nakshatra that softly whispers of the sacredness of connection, the sanctity of trust, and the beauty of hearts aligning through mutual understanding. It doesn't shout for attention. Instead, it hums with the wisdom that the most profound truths are often found in silence, in the subtle spaces between words, in the eyes that meet without fear, and in the hands that reach out not to take, but to hold. Today, let Anuradha remind you of the divinity embedded in human connection, the way a single moment of sincerity can bridge lifetimes of distance, and how just being fully present with someone can be the greatest act of love. In a world where we're constantly encouraged to chase, to acquire, to do more, this energy invites us to pause and feel, to remember that fulfillment doesn't arrive with achievement, but with alignment. That true strength is found not in how much you control, but in how deeply you trust, in yourself, in others, and in the unfolding of life. Take a breath and return to that place within you where your soul feels like home. Let go of the need to prove or perform. Let the quiet stillness cradle you for a moment. You might discover that what you've been tirelessly seeking outside of yourself, validation, peace, purpose, has been waiting within you all along, gently glowing beneath layers of expectation, fear, and striving. This is the beauty of Anuradha. It connects you to the core of your being, to the love that never leaves, and the inner sanctuary that always welcomes you back. This week, the cosmos offers a sacred invitation, a rhythmic, pulsing call to realignment. It's a beautiful opportunity not only to understand ourselves on a deeper level, but also to begin laying the groundwork for lasting emotional and spiritual transformation. If you've been feeling the weight of uncertainty or the tension of change, you're not alone. These celestial shifts are here to help us evolve, not by pressuring us, but by guiding us back into coherence with the universe's natural flow. With the moon moving through the earthy sign of Virgo and then into the gracious air of Libra, there is a refined balance being woven through the days. Virgo's grounded precision invites us to take a close look at the inner details of our emotional landscape. It gently nudges us to bring order where there has been chaos, not just in our outer environment, but in our minds and hearts. This isn't about perfection, it's about clarity. Virgo teaches us that tending to our inner life is an act of devotion. When we care for our thoughts the way we care for a garden, when we remove the weeds of doubt and negativity with patience and compassion, we create space for joy to bloom. This energy of Virgo and Libra whispers of emotional hygiene, of detoxifying not just the body, but the heart and soul. Are you holding on to a story that no longer serves you? Are there beliefs running in the background of your mind that limit your expansion? Now is the time to release them. Old narratives, especially those soaked in guilt, shame, or fear, can be gently dissolved under this light. You don't have to fight them. Just witness them, love them, thank them for the role they played, and then allow them to go. In this quiet surrender, healing happens. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it looks like taking a slow walk in the woods. Sometimes it's the tear that falls during meditation. Sometimes it's the moment you choose to forgive, not just others, but yourself. The moon in Virgo gives you the tools to look inward with honesty, while the upcoming transition into Libra helps you hold what you find with grace. Create sacred space for this inner renewal. Let stillness be your teacher. Allow the earth to hold you. Spend time in silence, listen to your breath, or write out your truths on paper. Light a candle and set an intention to cleanse the emotional residue of the past. Use your voice to speak affirmations that remind your cells of their divine intelligence. Let water carry away what no longer belongs. Let the wind clear away your mental clutter. In these seemingly small acts, you are reclaiming your inner sanctuary. As the moon merges into Libra, the energy softens, inviting harmony and beauty back into the picture. Libra, ruled by Venus, is the sign of relationships, not only with others, but with yourself. It encourages us to ask, are my connections feeding my soul or draining it? Am I honoring my needs as much as I consider others? It's a time to revisit what balance really looks like in your life, and to examine whether your inner world reflects the peace you wish to see externally. Relationships this week may become mirrors, offering you reflections of your own inner state. You might find that the way others treat you suddenly seems more revealing, more connected to how you're treating yourself. If someone crosses your boundaries, it may not be about them at all. It may be a sacred opportunity for you to reinforce your self-worth. Libra doesn't demand that we abandon ourselves for the sake of peace. It shows us that true harmony is born when we're honest, vulnerable, and lovingly assertive. Let this be the week you take your power back, not through aggression, but through grace. Speak your truth with compassion. Advocate for your needs without apology. Let empathy guide you, but not override your inner compass. There is immense power in choosing yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a way that says, I matter too. When you honor your inner world, your outer world begins to respond in kind. You draw in relationships that reflect your growth, your strength, your light. This cosmic window also opens the door to creative inspiration. With Libra's artistic essence and the moon illuminating new emotional truths, this is a fertile time for new beginnings. You may feel called to start a project, explore an idea, or return to a form of expression that once brought you joy. Don't dismiss these nudges. Creativity isn't just for artists. It's for anyone who wants to live more fully. Every time you allow yourself to dream, to imagine, to create something beautiful from nothing, you are honoring your soul's deepest nature. Let yourself color outside the lines this week. Try something different. Follow your curiosity without needing it to make sense. Play, explore, experiment. The universe is encouraging you to break free from stale routines and limiting definitions of who you are. You are more than your to-do list, more than your titles, your productivity, or your responsibilities. You are a divine creator, and the act of creating, no matter how simple, brings you back to your essence. As this week unfolds, you may find that the most powerful thing you can do is not strive harder, but surrender more deeply. This isn't about giving up. It's about leaning into trust. Trusting that life has your back. Trusting that even in moments of uncertainty, you are being guided. Surrender doesn't mean you stop making choices. It means you make them from a place of inner alignment, not fear. This kind of surrender is sacred. It's the space where transformation happens, not because you force it, but because you allow it. You make space. You release the need to control outcomes. You stop holding your breath and start allowing life to breathe through you. And in doing so, you realize that what you once thought was a breakdown is actually a breakthrough. That what seemed like an ending is the soil of a new beginning. Through every shift, through every emotional wave, remember this: you are supported. You are not walking this path alone. The universe is conspiring on your behalf, even when it feels silent. The stars are not far away. They are inside you, reflecting the same rhythm that pulses in your heart. Let this week be one where you return to that truth, where you rise not by climbing, but by sinking more fully into who you already are. Let the cosmic tides carry you. Let your heart lead. Let your spirit breathe. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to be present with what's here. Trust the wisdom rising within you. Let it guide you toward choices rooted in love, not fear. Toward actions born from alignment, not obligation. You are unfolding. You are becoming. And this moment, right here, is a sacred part of that becoming. So allow this week to be a portal, a soft reset, a chance to remember what matters, a space to cleanse, to heal, to feel deeply and fully. Give yourself permission to be real, to be whole, to be free. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing presence in a world that so often rushes past it. If this message touches your heart, let it ripple outward. Share it with someone who may need it. We're all walking this mysterious, beautiful journey together, and the more light we share, the brighter the path becomes for us all.